Welcome to the KR Films Entertainment channel. Today's video I will tell you a historical movie about an all-female warrior unit that protected the West African kingdom of Dahomey during the 17th and 19th century, as well as their one and only great female general who became known as the Woman King. So just relax out there and let me tell you what happened. In the movie, an opening crawl states that the kingdom of Dahomey has crowned the young king whose name is Gesso. The enemies, the Ojo Empire, have teamed up with the Mahi people to capture Dahomey villages and sell them to European slave traders. Even though the Ojo have an advantage with the guns and horses, they aren't afraid of them because they have a group of female elite warriors called the Agojiji that's set to protect their kingdom, and they're also led by General Nanisca, who are known for her bravery and then incomparable strength in battle. In one evening, General Nanisca together with the Agojiji have infiltrated the Mohi village and sorted their soldiers before coming across the captured villagers and freeing them. When the morning comes, the Agojiji mourn the dead members and school the captive back home. After that, they return home before the Ojo men arrives at Mahi village. Meanwhile, a young woman named Nohi is arranged by her family to marry a man who looks 5 times older than her. When Nohi doesn't respond to the man, he suddenly slaps her and she responds by pushing him hard enough for him to fall over. Because of that, the old man was angered and refuses to marry her. Then Nohi's father brings her to the Agojiji and offers her to the king, so she's taken in an escort by an Agojiji soldier named as Ahbi. In other instance, the Ojo soldiers led by General Over have come across the corpses of their comrades. Then the general insults them for letting their fellow soldiers get murdered by women. In the Dahomey, King Gesso addresses his council to discuss the Ojo's threat. Then Nanisca brings up the issue of slave trading and says it casts a dark shadow on their kingdom to be selling off their own people, so she proposed to abolish it, and she says that they need to rely on gold or palm oil for trading. But the king tells Nanisca to show him how much palm oil they can produce before he makes his decision. In the woman camp, Nanisca and her right-hand woman named Amenzo addresses the new Agojiji recruits. They tells them that they will fight and potentially die for their kingdom, so they will not force anyone to join and they will allow anyone who wants to leave. Unfortunately, several women leave, but a large group including Naomi choose to stay. After that, the new recruits begin their training, but now he does not understand why they begin with ropes. She says that they should start with a bladed weapon, because of what she said Nanisca allows her to try her sword in a wood statue to decapitate it. The sword is too heavy for Norway, but Nanisca chops the head off with one swing. At night, as Wilby speaks to Norway and talks about how her mother allowed men to abuse her until she fought back. The other day, Nohi plays a prank where she sets off a small explosive on one of the statues, and when that is girls them who did it, she takes the blame for it as Nanisca chastises her for what she did. Later on, as though he tells Nohi about how Nanisca's deeds are considered legendary since she rose up to her ranks after being captive for too long by the Ojo man. Meanwhile, Amenzo visits Nanisca, who's having a nightmare in her heart. Then she tells her using special nuts that she sees somebody from Nani's gets past coming back for her. When she goes outside, Nani's guess he Snowy and watches her as she practices sword wielding skills and one of the statues. After that scene, the Yo-Yo men arrive at the kingdom's gates for a confrontation with King Gizzard. When Over steps forward, Nanisca becomes horrified because she remembered the time his Over raped her repeatedly when she was a captive of them. Then they ordered tributes and demand 40 Agojiji warriors, but the king said to them that he will only give them 20 Iug. Later on, a Portuguese settlers led by Captain Santo Ferreira and his friend Malik have arrived at Africa, and when Malik sees the captured natives, he feels horrified for them. Then Nanisca and the Agojiji have arrived at the gates of Ojo Empire, and there she says that they will not give them tributes and instead they deliver to Over the severed heads of his men. So a fight breaks out and Nani scolded the Agojiji to proceed from their plan, but now we did not obey her order and choose to stay with her to fight. After they escaped, Nanisca scolded Nohi out for it, but the Menza privately tells Nanisca that it was her who deviated from the plan as she was more concerned to kill Over. After the commotion, Ferreira and Malik meet with Over and his soldiers as they are discussing plans for the Ojo to team up with other tribes to invade the Dahomey and Himor villages to sell off. Malik is uncomfortable with the news, so he later goes by the water to bathe, where he has found new binary. Then she accuses him of being a slave trader, but he denies it and tells her about his Dahomey heritage and also tell her that his mother is a Dahomey people.
After that he gives her a piece of jewelry before she retreats back to the others.
Then later on the kingdom holds a small tournament where the all GG trainees go through an obstacle course involving thorn bushes, climbing a wall, fighting enemies and finally decapitating one of the statues. Nohi comes out as the victor and Gesso acknowledge her skills and talents. While tending to know his wounds, Nanisca feels something on the girl's arm and asks her what is it. Then she said that she had that scar since she was just a little girl. After that Nanisca goes back to her room and Amanda followed her inside the room. She asks Amanda about the child that she had given birth long ago because she is beginning to suspect that Novi might be that child, and Amanda tells her that she led the child to be adopted by family. In another instance, Farhan Malik visited the kingdom of Dahomey. Then Farharo speaks to King Guess out about his plans to potentially seize Dahome's part in a slave trading, telling him that his riches come from the slaves and without them his kingdom would be nothing and unprotected. But the king did not agree on what he said, and he retorts that if the Europeans are no longer of use to him then they are also unprotected. At night Norway and Malik speaks in secret. Then Malik tells her that the Ojo Empire are planning to attack them and he asked her to come with him so that she can escape from any danger that is to come, but she refuses him and said that she will not abandon her people. Before they separated, He gave him a totem to keep him safe when he says that he has nothing to go give her. She simply takes one of his knives. Novi immediately tells the Nanisca about what Malik said, but she only just ices her for sneaking out family. After arguing, Nanisca approaches Norway and tells her about the baby she gave up and tells her that the baby must be hers. She also tells that she was a product of rape and Amanda helped Nanisca hide her and give her away. Nanisca remembers cutting the child's left arm and sticking a shock tool in it. Then Nanny's get cuts into Novi saw him and pulls out the two, confirming that he is indeed her daughter and as well as the daughter of Over, but now he leaves and cannot believe what she said. The following morning Nanisca and some of her soldiers keep an eye on the yo-yo camp. Then they set fire using gunpowder and cause multiple explosions, scaring the Ojo's horses away and leaving them vulnerable. At the same time they launch an attack leading to a fearsome bloody battle that leaves many Ojo and IUG soldiers dead and leads to some of the women including his Sylvia Norway to get captured on a wagon heading away. He finds out her friend's bind have come loose and she encourages her to roll off the cart and run back to the homie. And being captive, he helps Azofia to fix a broken arm. Later on his friend who escaped successfully had returns to Dahomey and informs Nanisca about the Ojo's plan to retaliate against the all GG. She also tells her that is okay and now we have captured by the Ojo. Meanwhile King Kazo promotes Nanisca but forbids her from acting any further. But she disobeys him and together with the Mensa and some of the soldiers including the all GG that goes to Ojo Empire to rescue the captives. When the European slave traders have come for the captives as though we try to escape and initiate a fight against them, but unfortunately as he is fatally shot and dies in Always' arms. After that Over asked Malik if he wants to buy Norway, so he agreed and paid for Nohi's right. Then he brought Nohi to his room and asked her to go with him to England. When Nanisca and the others arrived, they detect the Europeans and Ojo's camp. They also set fire and kill the enemy before freeing the captives. Then Malik turns on Farara and frees the captives, causing them to drag him into the water where they beat him and hold his head underwater until he drowns. He sees what's happening outside, so she immediately runs to help them. Later on Nanisca finally goes to face off against Over, the man who she wants to kill the most. They fought hard with all their might and finally after their fierce battle she lands a killing blow to Oda which caused him to die by her sword. After that bloody battle they return home with their captives and in front of many people Nanisca is confronted by King Gesso for disobeying his order. Then he thanked her for ending the slave trading as well as the Ojo Empire and he officially promotes her and gave her the title of the Woman King. After that he goes to pay tribute to Zavi and she is joined by Nanisca. She then addresses as he is her daughter and the two of them join the others to dance in celebration, and that's the end of the story of the great female warriors that protected the West African kingdom of Dahomey as well as the one and only Woman King. Thank you for watching guys. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. See you in our next movie.